All right, welcome everybody. Um, I just wanted to go ahead and uh, talk a little bit. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Destiny 2 right now. As you may or may have not known, Destiny 2 is coming to an end on June the 9th. There is a lot of controversy between the Marathon community and the Destiny 2 community. And I just wanted to come on here, give my feedback, my perspective on the game. Um, I know I'm not somebody big, I'm not somebody popular or anything, but I am a Destiny 1 veteran, and I am a Destiny 2 veteran as I've played since exactly day one beta of Destiny 2 and everything. So, and I've been here ever since. So I'd like to give my feedback, what I think, and this whole process. Um, Firstly, I'd like to say Destiny 2 has been it's been definitely a love-hate relationship. Um, there's been a lot of times where I love this game. This game is absolutely fantastic. And then there's just sometimes, well, not sometimes, there's just something that always happens when it's either um, miscommunication between um, the developers and us, or the expansion is just nothing of what we expected, or the community's feedback is sometimes a little too negative, and people just, say whatever. Um, Personally speaking, it's hard to say. I agree, but I disagree. I think, and we're also going to talk about, the whole topic of Destiny 3, and my point on that. Um, so, I know a lot of people, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. I personally don't think we should have a Destiny 3. Um, unless it's absolutely Bungie absolutely sits down, takes player feedback, from the years, and decides to actually make it good. So a little history from me. I started playing Destiny. Sadly, I didn't get the play on release when um, the game had first launched and the Vault of Glass had come out. I actually came around when Crota End had dropped. I had watched a couple streamers playing, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this looks awesome! What is this game?" And as back then, I didn't know what it was, so I ended up getting it, and it was like 360. I was never really a first-person shooter kind of game enthusiast, but it totally 360'd my whole, you know, visual side of the game. So I went ahead, played it, and then I fell in love with it. I love the grind system, from upgrading the gear to grinding the raids. I know a lot of people in the community don't like the fact that you have to upgrade your gear to get stronger or whatnot. I found that the leveling system and that the upgrading of the armor system was such a good mechanic, because you actually had to farm the raid to get stronger. You had to actively keep playing it to get the materials to make your character stronger, to be able to handle more and survive more. I always thought that was such a cool mechanic, and sadly they didn't bring that in D2. We originally did have a leveling system, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was so cool to level up each time. Nowadays, power is typically what you go for when it comes to these kind of things. Um, so uh, I had played Destiny, all the way to the end. Um, I enjoyed Wrath of the Machine. Taken King was amazing. Um, Even House of Wolves. House of Wolves was it wasn't huge. It was so much fun. It was a whole new game mode that we got to play and do. And then Destiny 2 came, and I was one of those guys that would stand outside of I remember when Destiny 2 was first dropping, I had pre-ordered the collector's edition, and I was one of the guys that sat outside of GameStop waiting for a release, and that was so much fun. I cannot explain. I know it's nothing like it used to be. You know, waiting outside your game stores for a collector's edition to drop when you could just have it nicely shipped to you for the low price. It's cool and all, but I always felt like the gathering and talking about the game was always like the coolest aspect. I had made so many friends when Destiny first dropped. Sadly, they weren't. After Destiny 2 had dropped, a lot of them didn't stick around. And then I had made some new Destiny 2 friends. And we played every expansion. Through the worst times to the best times, we played, you know, Curse of Osiris. We played Warmind. We played, you know, Forsaken. When Destiny 2 had dropped first and originally, the campaign, it got a lot of hate, but personally speaking, I enjoyed the campaign. I thought the campaign was fun. I thought it was also good for new players. It did kind of just throw you into it, and I get that. But personally speaking, I wish, right now I'm playing the New Light, as you can tell. This campaign is absolutely trash. I wish they would have integrated the Red War in this some way, because I feel like we basically pulled an anime time skip right there. So Destiny 2 had released, was so much fun, was so great. We did kill Kala a little early. Thought that was a little interesting. But Calus was a fun boss. I remember my day one playing with my friends for Calus, and then we grind the Prestige raid. That was so much fun. But we then go on to the next couple expansions, you know. We got Curse of Osiris that dropped in, if y'all remember, you know, your two common blues from a chest. We love tokens. Yeah, not really that good. Even though they had the right idea, but the execution, once again, on Bungie's part, was not the play. Was not that fun, aside from the raid. I enjoyed the raid. Raid was really cool, really intuitive. And that's the thing, Bungie knows how to do a raid right. I feel like most of the time, Bungie does a pretty okay job at making a very good raid, or even strikes. I've had some strikes that are just phenomenal. But yeah, a lot of other stuff they could have did better. So much did better. Then we had Warmind that dropped. Warmind was absolutely great. We had new game mode. I thought it was cool with Escalation Protocol. And then we had the raid. Raid was so cool. Learn more about Rasputin. You know, we love the Warmind lore that's around it. So, a lot of cool things. And then we had, right before I believe Forsaken had dropped, we had gotten a couple like smaller season stuff. Like we had a Gambit one, which was really cool with Gambit Prime. I really enjoyed Gambit Prime. Until Gambit kind of fell off for a lot of people. We also had other things, like we had trying to really remember what all we had. We had I believe we had we had Black Armory. Black Armory was absolutely fantastic, you know. Enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Once again, new game mechanics, new lore, we had new secrets, we had a new raid, new enemy type. I just thought not new enemy type, but new, you know, way that we would have to work around the enemy, you know. I thought that was so cool. Even the raid, even though it was short, I don't mind a short raid if it's a fun raid. So we had the new raid, did it, was fun. Then Forsaken came. Forsaken was phenomenal. The story was amazing. Lore was amazing. The Last Wish raid. Oh my goodness, it's probably hands down my favorite raid to this day. That grind for 1K voices, and it was just so good. And yeah, so we had done that stuff, and that was so much fun. But then we had this is when things started to ultimately decline for the community, I'd say. Is we had Shadowkeep after they had parted with Activision, and they had the right idea. Once again, they had the right idea, but they didn't have the right execution. Like, I don't know what it is or who it is at Bungie that decides, you know, what execution, you know, how they run it and whatnot, but they just didn't do it right again. And even the raid was great. Once again, the raid was great. Strikes were great. Story was great. But once again, they just don't listen to how it should run, and it just was not enjoyable. It just felt like a chore at the end of the day. You know, I don't want to go hop on here and do a 9-to-5 job. Sadly, I hate to say it. So we had done that. Raid was fun. Then we move on to Shadowkeep. I mean, not Shadowkeep, Beyond Light. I'm kind of hit or miss on this. I agree that there was some things in Beyond Light that were not amazing, but personally speaking, I really enjoyed Beyond Light. I know a lot of people say Stasis, oh, it was so terrible. I didn't really play a lot of PvP. I mean, I played Trials, I played a couple other things, but I didn't play a lot. But personally, I found Stasis to be really fun. I thought it was like a whole new, it was a new gimmick, a whole new super type. I love new super types. New super types are, I think the whole community loves new super types. And, you know, I found the story I thought was good. The raid was really good. Once again, we had to go up against, you know, our favorite revived boss that's been alive so many times. Good old, I can't even remember what his name is, but he just lives so many times. We've killed him multiple times. So that was fun, was cool. I thought it was a good expansion, personally, my standpoint. Then we move on to the next expansion, which was, I believe, Witch Queen. Yeah, we had Witch Queen. Witch Queen was really good. Everybody loved it. I loved it. At first, I was kind of hesitant at first. But then when I got in it, started doing it, I thought it was cool. I know there was like a lot of people saying there maybe Strand from Lightfall should have been in Witch Queen, and I could see it, but at the same time, the lore itself was cool. I didn't feel like we needed a new super right off the bat since we just got, you know, had just gotten Stasis. So I wasn't expecting a super, personally speaking. So we had Witch Queen. Raid was amazing. Story was phenomenal. Once again, strikes were amazing. And they had nailed it. I felt these two expansions were nailing it. Then we had Lightfall, and I was like, oh my goodness. All my friends and me, we all were so pumped for Lightfall. Lightfall was going to be the best. And then we were just so stoked to see what happened. You know, with After and whatnot. I cannot tell you how conflicted I am with Lightfall now to when I was back then. I was so excited. It was going to be so much fun. We had so many new things to try and do. And then when it dropped, I mean, brother, Neomuna is so small. I cannot express how disappointed I was about how big Neomuna was. I was disappointed about how we had to fight. We had to fight Callus, and if those that don't know, when we played Witch Queen for the raid, we had fought one of the witnesses, you know, his heralds, which was Ralk, you know. But now we're going up against Calus, another new herald, you know. We struggled against Ralk. Ralk was not a laughing joke. But then we go up against Calus, and this guy's a joke. I cannot explain how much of a joke this guy is. So we go up against Calus. He's a joke. And at that point, I'm wondering, what are we even doing? Okay. I really want to love, you know, Lightfall. And deep down, I like it, but Lightfall is just, it's just not that good. I'm sad to say it's not that good. It could have been so good, but they just missed the mark again on it. So Lightfall comes. I did do the day one for Ron. Ron was I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was unique. You know, very unique raid. Even though me and my team, we had killed him, but had not killed him, if that makes sense. He would just revive, and it wouldn't have counted. So that was fun. But you know, that had went on, and it just wasn't that good. Then we move in the final shape. Well, by the time Lightfall had happened, before I get in the final shape, by the time Lightfall had happened, my friends had all lost hope in this game. I can't tell you how disappointed they were about, oh, what's the Veil? You know, to this day, what is the Veil? Oh, look, I love getting a payment. You know, buy this now. When I just started playing this, cool. You know, it was just such a turn off for a lot of people, and all my friends had left. And then we get Final Shape, and at first Final Shape had thrown the ball once again until they listened to the community. They were like, oh, the community doesn't like this. Let's cook up for 3 months and delay it. So they did, and you know what? We got an amazing end to the Destiny Light Saga. And I got nothing more to say about the Final Shape. It was amazing just the way it was. That's all I can say is it turned out the way it should have been for an expansion. Then we had gotten what we got now, the Fate Saga. Why did we bring the director? I mean, not the director, the portal. Portal is a whole mess of itself. I don't want to get into it. They had ruined the game with the portal. Then the portal's just such a mess. The story was kind of okay. It didn't feel that special. They gave us new enemy types, but at the same time, the only thing that was cool was like the story between Ikora. I thought that was the only thing interesting. Then we get Renegades. Okay, Renegades was good. Who doesn't like a lightsaber? But you know, you can only do so much in Renegades. Once again, story was okay. It was alright. I did play. I joke you not. I haven't even beat Desert Perpetual. I know it's a pretty good raid, but I can't even be bothered to hop in because there's nobody to play raids on Destiny. And this is where I'm getting at about Destiny 3. I personally don't think Destiny 3 should be made unless Bungie is serious about it and has the same mindset that they had for the good times of Destiny. Destiny absolutely needs its good times, and it will not survive without its good times. And I feel like we have dropped the ball Bungie has dropped the ball so many times on us since Destiny 2 had released. And don't get me wrong, I love Destiny 2. To this day, I still hop on and play every once in a while, but it's not, my friends don't play it anymore. Half the time, I'm alone playing this game, and I can only play so much of it. So I personally don't think they should, unless it's something that is going to be what we call here in the community a masterpiece. So that's my thoughts on Destiny 3, why my little background history, and a little bit about myself. If you didn't like it, I apologize. It's just personal. That's how I feel about the game since I've played for so long. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good one. And I'll see you all Starside. Peace.